have been interested in starting a mystery shopping side hustle, this episode is for you because joining me today is Mercedes Eckert. She is the founder of iShop. And we're going to be talking about how to build a side hustle with zero startup costs. But before we get into it, I must give Mercedes a moment to shine. You tell us more about yourself, anything you'd like us to know. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Take it away, Mercedes.
Thank you so much for having me, Kristen. As you said, my name is Mercedes Eckert. I am the founder and CEO of iShop, and iShop is a mystery shopping organization. And so I spend my days recruiting and training people who want to get paid to shop. Outside of that, I am a wife. I've got a blended family with two stepdaughters, and they're 17 and 19. So I can just tell you right now, my life is like a little roller coaster between managing business and managing, growing children. It is fun, and there's never a dull moment. But yeah, that's just a little bit about me. I'm a Midwesterner here in Southern Indiana, and honestly, just loving every minute of life.
I don't know anyone on the planet that has not thought about it, because I know I has not considered, how do I get into mystery shopping to make a little extra cash, especially around the holiday season. I'm sure that's probably when you're busiest. But how did you get into it?
That's a good question. So it's so crazy how this happened. My husband and I, we were dating at the time, and we were having like a little double date. That's what it was, double date. So his best friend brings another young woman, and she looks at me. You know, we're all talking, and she's like, "Hey, would you be interested in mystery shopping?"
Right?
And I'm like, "Wait, that's real?" I'm like, hold on. It's real. I've heard of it, but I didn't know it was real. And so come to find out, she actually worked for a mystery shopping company, and she was desperate for someone to go up the street and do a mystery shop at a gas station. I said, yeah, I'll do it. I think it was paying like $20, something like that. And I had to go in and just, get some gas, and then try to buy alcohol or tobacco and check to see if the cashier was going to ask to see my ID. It took me 5 minutes. I made $20. I was like, oh my gosh, this is more than I would make, in an hour or two at my job.
Yeah.
This is crazy. How do I do more of these? And so it kind of just spiraled from there and snowballed.
No kidding. Chance meeting. And from there, you realized you had something. So did you, I guess you were doing this first as a side hustle, and now before you made it like a full-time thing. What was that journey like for you?
You know what? The journey was very organic. Like I said, that chance meeting. And then from there, I started to learn more about the industry and started doing mystery shops at all kinds of places. Fancy, dining restaurants, movie theaters, and hotels. And I mean, all these places that technically we couldn't afford on our current pay. And we were getting paid to do this. And so slowly but surely, our way of life kind of changed. The finances changed. The things we got to do that didn't break the bank. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. And
starting mystery shopping to where you are now. And it sounds like you really, with iShop, when you founded iShop, you created iShop, and now you're helping others to start their own mystery shopping businesses, side hustles. So in that, would you say, is there any kind of obstacles that someone would encounter when it comes to getting into mystery shopping? Because I know, like I've mentioned at the beginning, that I've absolutely considered it. I thought about it, and I looked into it, a couple of years ago, like when I first became a full-time entrepreneur. But is there anything that you feel like people are apprehensive about, or they're worried about when it comes to mystery shopping? And do you find yourself doing any kind of, now I got like 55 questions for you. It started off as one, but do you find you ever have to do any type of coaching? Like, what is the process like for somebody who really is serious?
So the biggest obstacle that I hear people say all the time is, number one, this is a scam. I thought this was a scam. I did not think this was real. So I kind of have to break down that barrier right there, right at the jump, because a lot of people don't realize that it is real. The unfortunate
Yeah.
thing is there are scams out there, just like there are in any industry. Really, any industry has scams. And so I first off teach people how to avoid those scams. Okay, so here's knowing legitimate opportunities versus this is not real. They're going to steal your
Okay.
money. They're going to hack into your bank. Like, no. So I would say that's the biggest obstacle that I hear people when they are interested is just having that faith that, okay, this lady's telling me the truth, but getting started in and of itself is pretty easy. You do need to have some basic skills, being able to be a little tech savvy and work, the internet, good writing and grammar skills, and being able to follow instructions, which you'd be surprised how many people don't follow instructions. I'm like,
Okay.
honey, it was right there. So that's something. So, people who are considering it, once you get past, okay, this is legit, I'm, not falling for any scams, it is really following the directions.
I know people are checking out this episode, they're watching or they're tuned in on one of the platforms. How much on average would someone or can someone make in a month? On average.
Very good question. And I've got some numbers for you because we've been in business for,
Okay.
we've been in business for 10 years. So we've been tracking this. So most mystery shoppers, they're doing this as a side hustle. So they've got their main job and then they're doing this after they get off work, on the weekends, whatever. Those shoppers that do this as strictly a side hustle, they're bringing in
Okay.
between 200 and 500 a week as a side hustle. Okay. So, hey, I know when I got started, that was a game changer. That'd pay somebody's car bill. That could pay a little bit of your mortgage, your rent. I mean, it's a game changer just doing it on
Of
the
course.
side. Now, we do have full-time mystery shoppers. So there are people that do this full time, and the average is 1,000 plus a week for the full-time shoppers. And then just brace yourself. We had a shopper she ended her year with
In full-time
$74,000
mystery shopping.
full-time mystery shopping. Yeah.
Okay. Now you
Yeah.
really piqued some people's interest in this as well. So it sounds like it's about zero startup costs, being able to understand navigating a computer, the basics of it, or your phone, and following instructions. Are there ever
Right.
scenarios where how do I put this? How if somebody is rejected or is declined, do they automatically just get a mystery shopping gig, or is there a process somebody needs to follow? When are they assigned? Like, tell us the things. Tell us what you can tell us to get people interested enough, and then they have to contact you to get started.
So as a mystery shopper, you can pick your assignments, right? I mean, they'll have available, like, hey, we've got this available. It's just like any other contractor job, I want to say, as far as in, it's up to you what you want to do. There's no boss telling you when or where or how many or you have to do or can't do. This is completely flexible. So you pick the shops that you want to do. Now, it is usually first come, first serve, right? Unless it's like a really higher paying shop and then they want to make sure you've got some experience under your belt. But for the most part, it's first come, first serve. You sign up, and it's saying, hey, I can do this shop, and they give it to you. So there's really no obstacle there. But what you said about the following instructions, once you get the job or you get the mystery shop, it's important to follow the instructions, because let's say you go into wherever it is that you're doing the mystery shop and you did not follow their instructions. Well, then that means your job isn't completed. So, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't follow the instructions, then why would they pay you? Because you didn't gather the information or the evidence or whatever they wanted you to look for. You didn't gather it. You didn't get it. So either they would like send you back to go do it or send it to somebody else. But I mean, that doesn't happen all the time unless you're just totally not reading your instructions, which that's with every job. You have a job to do, and there are specific processes, which you got to follow.
That was going to be my next question. So this is a nice segue. I love a good segue. Typically, where do people find themselves getting mystery shopping assignments? Is
Talking about
is
like
it
the type
a,
of
a
places that they
wide
get to go.
variety, or is it typically certain
Okay.
industries are looking for mystery shoppers? What?
Just
Okay.
about just about every industry. Now, let me just blow y'all's mind for just a second. So, mystery shoppers get paid to shop at gas stations, grocery stores, movie theaters, restaurants, casinos, hotels, airports, strip clubs, fitness centers, car dealerships, churches, hair salons, you name it. I don't even know if there's an industry you could
Okay.
name that doesn't
Yeah.
that is not being mystery
You know,
shop.
you think
Pretty
about it or you hear
wild.
about it and you think, because it says mystery shopping, you're thinking like some type of retail store, a clothing store, a jewelry store, and you're going in, and some people probably picturing the person with like the sunglasses and the trench coat in a corner, like observing. But I'm sure that's not what
Right.
it usually would look like. Have you ever received any types of negative experiences from people who have started mystery shopping? Or is it generally, it sounds fun, it sounds great, but is there another side to it?
I would say the majority love it. But I think that we all know there's no one size fits all. So what one person may love, another person may say it's not my cup of tea, which I think took a little while for me to come to grips with, because I'm like, who wouldn't want to get paid to go grocery shopping? Like I'm like, my logical brain didn't understand that. But there are people, and occasionally we come across maybe someone that's not as tech savvy. I mean, opening and finding an email for them, they need a hand, their handheld to walk through that. Those people typically have problems with it just because of their lack of tech. And it's not really that you need to know something special. I think for a lot of us, or at least the maybe millennials and younger, they
Mm-hmm.
have that, the computer and all that is natural, right? But when you get into some of our older generations, they do sometimes have issues with that, which is totally fine. That can be, you can be taught that. um so that would be some of the people that opt out, maybe like, this ain't really for me. I'm having, because it's user frustration. Okay. And then but honestly, yeah, the majority of everybody likes it, right? I think the only other downside that I would say is you get some people that are so detail oriented. They want to tell, because once you do the mystery shop, you've got to like report, like, hey, what happened? Well, you get some people, and it's usually the newer people. So they're brand new at mystery shopping. They think they've got to tell it all, like every single detail down to dust on the edge of, I mean, just crazy stuff. And so they will put so much detail in their report. A 15-minute report will take them 2 hours. And then they're like, Mercedes, I don't know if I could do this. It took me 2 hours. I'm like, hold on. Hold on. Like, let's rein it back for a second. And then usually it comes down to people just
Yeah.
realizing all you got to tell them is what they want to know, right? If they said, what color was this? You're putting the color, and you're not saying, well, I think it was with the hint. They don't want all that. And so when you learn to just give the facts and
Mhm.
just what they asked, you're good, right? And it's quick and it's swift and it's easy. So if you're
Okay.
really detail oriented, you got to rein it back a little bit.
And how does someone, where you went from that double date, over a decade ago, to where you are now, where you founded iShop, how does someone go from just
Mhm.
starting it as a side hustle to scaling to where they have their own version of iShop?
The industry I have seen in the last 2 years or so, I've seen a few people popping up here and there, doing mystery shopping training, which is definitely something that people are picking up. Now, I caution people, you need to follow
Okay.
the rules, because I've seen a lot of people pop up, but they're not following the rules. So that's a little dangerous, but it's very new. This is very
Okay.
much a new thing to the market, because mystery shopping, it's been around since the 1940s. But what happened was a lot of scammers came in
Mm.
and they kind of ruined the reputation of the industry. And then, in my opinion, the good guys that been running the show for decades, they didn't do a great job of marketing and taking back that reputation, and letting the public know this is real. here's how you get started, etc. So when my company entered the scene around 10 years ago, I had a lot of people 2 times my age. They're like, oh, this young whippersnapper, what's she know? Don't do this. You're going to give away, the secrets, and we're not going to have any jobs. I had a lot of discouragement around it. But you know what?
Yeah.
Sometimes God just has other plans, okay? But when we came on the scene, with a background in marketing like I have, I was able to pull in some strategies to really start reshaping how the public sees mystery shopping and bringing awareness to that. So scaling your mystery shopping business, the first thing is you got to get started, right? And then growing your expertise and your experience. And then if you want to be a trainer, you can definitely scale into that. Now, what makes my company a little different from a trainer of scaling is that we're actually an organization. And so we partner with the providers to bring jobs. So that it's a little bit different from just
knowing that you have iShop and you train others. Do you have anything that you're working on? Anything that's coming up? Anything that people need to know about from you and the iShop world?
We've got several projects in the works. I would say the soonest one is we have a free webinar. So if you're watching and you're interested in learning more about this industry and getting paid to shop at all your favorite places,
the episode description so people can check it out or sign up or download a link, whatever the case might be. So typically, this is where before I absolutely positively let my guests go. This has been such a great, interesting conversation because I was so curious just for myself to learn more about how you got into mystery shopping. So thank you very much for sharing the nuggets with me. The reason why I said nugget is because before I absolutely positively let my guests go, I ask you for a nugget to share with the audience. What do you have for us today, Mercedes?
Well, one nugget that I want to share is to relinquish fear and just do it. That has been kind of the phrase of 2025 for me when speaking with other people. I have watched people for years spin their wheels. They have dreams, they have visions, but they've got fear. And that fear is keeping them from what I know they can achieve and could have achieved a long time ago. So if you're watching this, I don't care what it is that you are wanting to do. If you're facing fear, just let go. Because that fear, once it's gone, you can do anything.
And the thing fear is it's so temporary. Once you absolutely get started, whatever your start looks like, and you realize, what was I waiting for? What was really getting in my way? And you get over that and you realize you're not trying, you're actually doing. You relinquish fear and just start. And if you want to find out more about mystery shopping, getting started as a mystery shopper, yes, it is absolutely real. You can check out the episode description and get more information. Find Mercedes. Her videos, her content really does break it down for you. Connect with her and find out more. Thank you so much for joining me today, Mercedes, and sharing your wisdom with me. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.